And the bigger issue, the school is fighting is the money that's owed to them from the land grant money that's been owed to them for the last 50 years. And that's something that can be a huge shot in the arm for our institution.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to Around the Association. Now, recently there's been a lot of attention on HBCUs and the way funding has been misappropriated. I know Deion Sanders, before heading off to Colorado, spoke in regards to the things that weren't going on well at Jackson State, which actually I'm sure ultimately helped make his decision a lot easier when Colorado came coming. Then you had Ed Reed, who actually was speaking out in regards to the lack of funding that he's seeing at Bethune-Cookman. And we've covered, those topics in several videos. If you haven't, you need to go check them out. They're really good. Now, this is where we get to Eddie George. Eddie George is a Hall of Famer, actually alumni of The Ohio State, and had a fantastic career with the Tennessee Titans. I mean, Eddie George was a beast back in that day. If you're a little young, you might want to go look at some of the highlights of Eddie George from college and pro. Now, Eddie George is currently the head football coach at Tennessee State University, another HBCU institution. And there's actually, some interesting things with this story that's not solely pointing the finger at the university. Take a listen here at what Eddie George had to say.
And the bigger issue, the school is fighting is the money that's owed to them from the land grant money that's been owed to them for the last 50 years.
What land grant money, you ask? I'm glad y'all asked some good questions. Well, it seems the state of Tennessee owes Tennessee State about $250 million that's been withheld from them over the past 5 decades. Yeah, that's 50 years. That's the money that Eddie George is speaking about. I wonder how much historically black college could actually use $250 million to not just update their football program. That's enough money to sit back an endowment, sit back money, to kind of grow and appreciate with interest, that they can, kind of finance other things going on the university's campus with that money. I mean, wow. And Eddie George, he continues on with, what if Tennessee ponies up the money that they owe Tennessee State from that land grant? What those funds could be used for? Take a listen.
And that's something that can be a huge shot in the arm for our institution. And we have to be responsible enough to then take that money and put it toward infrastructure, put it toward new buildings, put it toward a robust endowment that can continue to build, to grow, and to set up other funds that's going to deal with the maintenance and the everyday use for our student athletes, and to bring in the talent and teachers where we're well staffed. So there's an opportunity there. Tennessee State has the bones to be a really, it's a great institution, but now it's time to go from good to great, to eminence, to being exceptionally great with those opportunities, with those funds, and so forth. So that's what I'm fighting for right now.
I mean, that's crazy to be shorted that amount of money, hundreds of millions of dollars over all that time. Again, you don't have it, so you're not even have it set aside where it can be appreciating with any kind of interest or anything. Like, I don't know. It's no wonder. Like, it seems like every year I'm always hearing, hey, this HBCU here is struggling. They're in danger of closing, shutting down this school, that school. I can only imagine, if there's other schools that are missing out on funding from the state that's being withheld. There's not been anyone putting pressure on the state to actually pay them out their funds. One student, Kenneth Roll, he's the SGA president at Tennessee State. He even stated how we've still been able to function as a university, as an organization, as a body is really something that should be applauded. And I agree. I mean, I would like, any company to kind of take a look at their bottom line and say, all right, I need you to stay in business, but we're going to minus you $250 million that's owed to you. I think that'll put almost every company in a bit of a pickle. Let's just say that. Now, this is Governor Bill Lee, current governor of the state of Tennessee, and he was actually asked a really good question by a reporter. The reporter asked, are there plans to include this money, which the money that he owes Tennessee Tennessee State is what he's referring to, in your next budget request, or ask the legislator to pay this out of the multi-billion-dollar rainy day fund? I mean, just stop right there. The fact that there is a multi-billion-dollar surplus fund that you have sitting back, and you owe this historically black college money, that you owe the money, not that we're asking you to do anything extra. This is money owed. The invoice has been sent decades and decades ago, but you're good with the surplus. I wonder what they're using the surplus on, other than ponying up their bill with Tennessee State. And this is what Governor Lee's response was. Governor Lee says, we are working with the university. Working with the university. Working with them now. Working with them. And this is the same type of regime that, hey, they want to do all these proclamations for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Excuse me, I call that pageantry. Whenever you're willing to do all this public marketing, have us, have an African American on your show where you sit with them and have discussions. But you owe us money. I don't know about you, but I ain't really want to have too much of a conversation with somebody that has the money to pay me back, but haven't paid me back yet. That's the only thing I want to talk about. I don't want to go around and round about nothing else. Let me know what you guys think. I thought this was very good for Eddie George to bring this up, because it actually allowed me to do a little bit of digging and see, what is the land grant money owed? I wonder, is this something that Bethune-Cookman and Jackson State, if they really looked at it, I'm pretty sure they were shorted. Won't Mississippi, where Brett Favre was stealing welfare money and all that, and Jackson State, the city of Jackson can't have clean water, but Brett Favre takes million. I mean, hey, we got to start looking at these things. We need like an independent auditor to actually go and audit the books of these corrupt state representatives in these state houses that is misappropriated funds, and especially as it relates to not getting to the people and the institutions that need them most, being our minorities and our HBCUs. So let me know what you think. Please like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell, and let me know what you think in the comments. I'll holler at you next time. Peace.